Aurora, I appreciate that. How we doing tonight? How we doing? What'd you think of Monday Night Raw? But what were you guys' thoughts on Monday Night Raw? Drop it in the chat. Let me know if the live is lagging, guys. Yeah, no, this was good. I'm a Kendrick fan. It was a good show. I liked it. How about you? Again, guys, let me know collectively if this YouTube live is lagging. All right, I don't know if the connection's a little messed up right now. Let me know. Be sure to hit that thumbs up in the meantime, guys, and subscribe as well. All right, hit that subscribe button. Going to get started in just a minute here. The Monday Night Raw review. Yeah, definitely. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Be sure to hit that sub button, guys. Again, let me know if the live is lagging on your end, okay? I want to make sure before I get started, everything's good. All right. Hopefully hopefully the live is up and running good for you guys here. All right, guys. So we're going to start off here. It's 11 o'clock my time, and we are going to start off with the first segment of the night. Main event, Jey Uso made his way out. You know, we got a whole lot of yeeting going on as usual. Nice to see. It's always cool. He brings a kid out from the crowd now in the stairwell, and they do the whole thing together. That's fun. Gets to the ring, about to cut a promo, immediately interrupted by Gunther. Gunther attacks him, and lo and behold, you know, he got the better of Jey for a little bit. Jey gets on the mic and challenges Gunther for WrestleMania, which I think most of us knew was going to happen. I don't know how many of you wanted to see Gunther versus Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso at Mania. I, for one, did not want to see that. But, you know, Jay's going to go after Gunther, rightfully so. And, you know, if I was to put money on it, if I was a betting man, I would assume, regardless how long Jey Uso's reign's going to be, right now, I'd have to say Jey Uso is probably going to beat Gunther at Mania. You know, if you're going to eliminate John Cena, it's one thing to win the Royal Rumble, but if you're going to eliminate John Cena in his final Royal Rumble, right, you're the last two, it's you and Cena, and you eliminate him, I would be led to believe that Jey Uso is going to go on and win that World Heavyweight Championship at Mania, whether people like it or not. So that's my guess. But that match is squared away, set in stone now. And so whoever wins the Chamber is coming for Cody Rhodes, whether that's Punk, whether that's Cena, whether that's Logan Paul, whether that's a Drew McIntyre, the four people that have punched their ticket to Elimination Chamber in Toronto on March 1st. So we'll see what happens. Appreciate you, Aurora. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. If you are new here, Mondays and Fridays, I am here after Raw and SmackDown full review. Hit that subscribe button. I do apologize if the live is lagging a little bit. I don't know what's up with that tonight. But anyway, stick with me. We'll make it through. And do I have Dominic Mysterio? I may have a couple laying around somewhere. I know they're not out of the box. If anything, they're probably in the box still, like brand new. So we got that opening segment. Jey Uso challenges Gunther. They're going to be set for WrestleMania. First match of the night, we got Damage Control's returning Dakota Kai. She was out for a couple of weeks.
Io Sky going up against Judgment Day's Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. It was a fun match, a little sloppy at times, very physical. Liv was busted open on the right side of her face. She had a gash on her right above her right eye. It looked like it might even need some stitches. I don't know, but either way, this was very physical. Io Sky ended up getting the pin on Liv Morgan with her, over the moonsault. And so we'll see what happens. We had a couple interactions throughout the course of this show with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky before the match, after the match. Some of us thought we were going to get this at Mania. Long story short, Rhea spoke to Adam Pearce later in the show, and the Monday Night Raw after Elimination Chamber, which I think takes us to March 3rd, around there, Rhea will defend her World Championship against Io Sky. So, for what it's worth, we're going to get that at the beginning of March. Can you see them? I don't have them out, Squid Game. Do you think that they have a serious storyline for John Cena? Mox Wallets. I'm led to believe so, regardless what that means with John Cena, if and when he gets a title opportunity, whether it's Mania, whether it's in the summertime, who knows? Cena may not win the Chamber, right? A lot of people thought he was going to win the Rumble. He'll get a match at Mania, regardless who it's against, John Cena, but he'll definitely wrestle there, but he may not wrestle for, Cody's title if he does not win it, obviously. So I think Cena gets to 17 at some point in 2025 before he hangs it up. Could be in the summertime. He could win Money in the Bank. I'm not putting him as a front runner by any stretch, but if he doesn't win the Chamber, we got to think of the ways that Cena may have to qualify if he does not win the Chamber going forward. So I do think Cena wins the title at some point. From who knows, but we will see. Squid Game, my friend, I don't have any of them out. All right, brother? So the opening tag match was fun. It was fun. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. Again, Mondays, Fridays, here after Raw and SmackDown, full review of the show, and just check out the daily content that I do post, long form, short form, YouTube shorts, and all that good stuff. So much love from India. Thank you, Khan. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you. So after that women's tag team match, we would then get a singles match, all right? We would get Lyra Valkyria, the Intercontinental Champion, which I do not believe she has any title defenses yet. You guys could feel free to correct me in the chat, man. I'm all here for constructive criticism. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think Lyra's defended her title yet in the 3 or 4 weeks she's had it. It's a beautiful belt, by the way. Went up against Bayley. Now, this match I thought was going to be much better than it was. It wasn't a bad match. I thought that the tag match was a little sloppy at times, but I love the physicality of it. But this match did not go the way I thought it would. And I'm not necessarily just talking about the outcome of Bayley and Lyra, that Bayley won. I was a little surprised that Bayley won. Not to say she couldn't do it, but the fact that Lyra has not defended her title yet, and the fact she's, again, a champion, even if it's in the mid-card, lost to Bayley. It's no sweat, no sweat off for Lyra. I don't think she loses any kind of momentum from it or anything like that. But that being said, I find it kind of weird that they even had Lyra in this match. Not to say she shouldn't have the opportunity to qualify for the Chamber, but if she's not going to win it, why not just let a champion in her own right just be in her own lane? We know there's more than enough women in the women's division in Raw and SmackDown on NXT, even though they released 3 or 4 women this past weekend, right? Who is it? Isla Dawn, Blair Davenport, Sonya Deville, and Elektra Lopez. Either or. So that's what happened here. Bayley got the victory. I think they even had George Kittle of the 49ers. Him and Bayley are longtime friends. Bayley's a big-time 49ers fan. He was even on the show before they did a taping for Main Event with Penta. He's even wearing a Penta shirt in the crowd, which is kind of cool. Had a Penta mask. They did something in the ring. That's all over social media. So let me get to some comments here before I move on after match 2. Thank you for the likes, guys. Hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe, all right? Guys won't be disappointed. At least I don't think so. I'm here Mondays and Fridays after Raw and SmackDown full review. So let's see. Heel Cena. I don't see that, Mox Wallets. I do not see a heel Cena at any point this year. Did you donate some stuff? I have in the past. Squid Game. Any chance Dean Ambrose returns for the Hall of Fame one day? Member of the Shield. That's about it. Squid Game, my friend. I've been answering you all review, bro. All right, let's keep it to the Monday Night Raw review, not the action figures, all right? Bottom line is, I'll answer you one more time. Yes, I have somewhat of a collection. Yes, I've donated some as well. Jaden, how we doing tonight? How we doing? Look, guys, so after this second women's match here, all right, again, Bayley got the victory here. She punched her ticket. She's the 4th woman in this Elimination Chamber match. We now have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, who punched her ticket Friday, and the 4th woman here, Bayley. So I'm interested to see who 5 and 6 are going to be. for the women. For the men, we'll get to the men a little bit later. Logan Paul punched his ticket in the main event tonight against Rey Mysterio. Second time beating Rey Mysterio. Again, you got to remember he beat Rey Mysterio at Crown Jewel. By hook or by crook, he beat him at Crown Jewel for the United States Championship November of 2023. So, favorite wrestler of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Though I got quite a few. That's a good conversation with Punk and Logan. Yeah, absolutely. I loved everything about that. We will get to that definitely throughout the course of the review, Mox. Guys, continue to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, Mondays, Fridays after Raw and SmackDown, you will find me here. Now, we're backstage. American Made rolled up on Lyra Valkyria. Okay, it's been documented for a couple of weeks now that Ivy Nile is incredibly interested in Lyra Valkyria's Intercontinental Championship. And I'll tell you what, man, they didn't do a whole hell of a lot with Ivy Nile on NXT. You know, obviously she was part of Diamond Mine. If you guys watched NXT the last several years, since 2.0 time, Diamond Mine with Roderick Strong, with the Creed brothers, Ivy Nile. Ivy was great. She was always like a great valet / manager, rarely fought, once in a while. But the way they've been giving Ivy some shine on the main roster the past year plus, I love it. And I'm a big fan of Ivy Nile. I am. So when it is time to dethrone Lyra of that title, I'm not saying Ivy's going to be the one to take it off of her, but I like the fact that Ivy's in the conversation. I'll say that. I do like the fact that she has a great look. Yes, I know she's a little bit on the shorter side. Incredibly strong, Ivy Nile. So, I don't know. So, backstage, Ivy Nile confronts, Lyra Valkyria, wanting a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. Said American Made, the Creed brothers are going to take the tag titles off of the War Raiders later in the night, which did not take place, but we'll talk about all that in a little bit. I think 2K25, do you already have it? I haven't played video games in years. Looks to be good, though. What is my dream match? I have a bunch. Cross-promotional right now. I'd love to see like a Jay White or a Will Ospreay versus like a Seth or something like that, but I don't know. That's just one that comes to mind real quick. So here we have, I want to say this was when we had AJ Styles make his way out to the ring. AJ Styles officially a member of Monday Night Raw now. We're all happy to see him back. At least I know I am. And the crowd in Nashville, Tennessee, very thrilled to see AJ Styles back and healthy. A lot of us were surprised to see him in the Rumble. He went on record a couple weeks ago on Twitter to say that this has been a very challenging injury. He was injured for a while, came back on SmackDown like 4 months ago. Got injured again and had been out for the last 3, 4, 5 months. So anyway, it's good to see Styles in the Rumble. And it wasn't only just good to see Styles in the Rumble where he debuted 9 years ago, but the fact that he came back to his theme song that he had for years. They changed it at WrestleMania 40 when he went up against LA Knight. It was an okay theme. It was okay at best. It wasn't as good as his original, being that he was leaning into that heel character side, right? So Styles was out there. He would then talk about he's still got gas in the tank. He's got something to prove. Getting back was difficult, but anything worth doing is going to be hard. And so now he's standing out in the center of this ring in Nashville, Tennessee, and he's back on Monday Night Raw. Judgment Day made their way out, at least Dominic Mysterio, Carlito as well. Let me get to a couple of comments here. John Cena should be back with The Rock. John Cena, I wish he was back. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to John Cena's whole 2025 farewell tour. Rock will come back when he's ready or, not tied up. Jay White versus Seth would be incredible. I agree there, Connor. Yeah, it's a match I would love to see one day. Hopefully, one day Jay White makes his way over to WWE. Honestly, I'm usually not too critical on people that sign with AEW, so be it. I do watch AEW too. And real briefly, I'll keep it this. Jay White's one of the guys I think that certainly would have had the added advantage if they did go to WWE from Jump Street. I still like Will Ospreay going to AEW. I just think for him it fits him better right now. But I think Jay White should have went to WWE right away. RKO Lover is back, bro. What's up, Arif? How we doing? Sawyer Smith, how we doing? Guys, welcome. Some faces I remember here. Some are new. Hit that like button, guys. Everyone counts. Subscribe if you have not already. Share this live with a friend, a friend, family member, coworker, you name it, who's into wrestling. Go share it with them. Again, Mondays, Fridays, I'm here after Raw and SmackDown. I wish they would push Chad, and that would give his stable a good start towards something in the future. I agree. I'm a big Chad fan myself. In a recent interview he did, obviously the ultimate goal for anybody in this business is winning the world title. But at minimum, last WrestleMania, I was happy for Sami Zayn becoming a 3 or 4-time IC champion, whatever it was, beating Gunther, upwards of 700-day reign. But I personally, I don't know about you guys, I was hoping Chad Gable was the one to dethrone Gunther last year at WrestleMania. But it is what it is. Hopefully he gets a chance sometime for some singles title soon. Who's your favorite wrestler like your dream to see? Like a dream to see in a match or a dream to like meet, you mean, as far as favorite wrestler? Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Yeah, hopefully one day, Arif. We've been waiting for that match for years, man. Happy birthday to who? Who's your favorite wrestler? All time Sawyer Stone Cold, man. Pentagon in a fatal four-way match. How do you think should be that dream match? Who should it be? Well, Jaden, I'm going to tell you what, man. We're going to talk about it in a little bit here as well. With the teases we've been getting the last couple of weeks with Braun Breaker. By the way, how'd you guys like his cowboy hat tonight, right? Braun Breaker, the Intercontinental Champion, he had a tease a week or two ago with Penta, and then we saw Braun Breaker confront AJ Styles tonight. I don't know about you guys, but you're mentioning Fatal 4 there, Jaden. I think about, what if we get a Braun Breaker? What if we get a Penta? What if we get an AJ Styles? And I don't know, just for argument's sake, just throwing Dominic Mysterio just because he's messing around with AJ lately. Something along those lines. You could put somebody different in for Dom if you want, but Penta, AJ, Braun, and somebody else in a fatal four-way for WrestleMania, sign me up, man. Sign me up. I love that. Happy birthday to who is it, Iker? Sammy and Chad were red hot, and that would have been an excellent. Exactly. That would have been cool as well. All right, Aurora. Who would win, Dominic Mysterio or Logan Paul? Well, I'd have to give the edge to Logan Paul, Sawyer, whether you guys like it or not, because, I mean, I know Dominic's younger, but the fact that Logan Paul is 2-0 against Rey Mysterio, hey, if he's taking down Rey, win, lose, or draw, or whether it's legal or not, shall I say, then you got to give the edge to Logan Paul, man. Logan looks good, even though in the beginning of that match, we'll get to it in the main event, back-to-back spots with Logan Paul, they both came to, like, there was an awkward moment in the center of the ring, and I highly doubt that was Rey's fault. So, like, they had a couple of slip-ups in the beginning, little miscommunication, but they overall had a good match tonight, Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio in the main event. Logan would be an amazing face. Yeah, I mean, look, even though Logan Paul is collectively more so hated, right? It's been like that for years, even prior to WWE, in the face of social media and the Paul brothers and stuff. I do think there is potential for Logan Paul eventually to one day become a babyface. I'm not saying it's going to translate well with everybody. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I think he's capable of playing the role of that character, right? I'm not saying it's going to resonate with everybody, though. I feel like regardless how good he is or how many good baby faces he comes to the aid of or saves, I think he collectively still will more so be booed than not. But Logan and Dom need to be a tag team. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Do I have Liv Morgan? Like an action figure? Yeah, I think I got a Liv Morgan. I'm not going to pick it up, but I have a Liv Morgan right behind that referee. I know you can't see it next to Bianca. Who would win, Brock Lesnar or The Rock? It's a good one. I mean, we got to be talking Sawyer. I mean, what timelines, what time frames, right? What points of their career, right? Present day, I'd give it to Brock, but let's see. What's up, bro? Fire Stream. Thank you, Joshy Cards. Thank you, my friend. Hey, be sure to hit that like button, and I hope you're subscribing. I'd love to have you back, man. Welcome aboard if you're new here. That goes for everybody, guys. Hit that like button. Don't cost you anything, I promise. Other than the fact that you might have to see my face on a daily basis, hit that subscribe. I'm here Mondays and Fridays, immediately following Raw and SmackDown. Full review of the show. I always check out the comments, as you guys could see. I'm always very interactive with you guys. Speak amongst one another as well. Do your thing. All I ask is keep it respectful. That's it. So, we have AJ Styles here, interrupted by Dom Mysterio and Carlito. And Mysterio gets on the mic and says he's known it's been a while. AJ was on Raw and things have changed a little. The boos were good for Dom. I mean, in the sense of he's getting that heavy heel heat that he was getting in 2022 when he first turned on his father and Edge. 2023, it reminded me. It took me back. Because lately, there's been a point where it's like Dom was teetering. It's like, is Dom going to be a babyface before this, year is over and stuff like that, or by the summer? But no, Dom looks like he's stuck in that heel persona. AJ was rebuttaling with messing with Dom. Where's Damian Priest? Where's Rhea Ripley? Where's Finn Balor? He says things changed and this isn't what he expected. And all he sees is a guy in purple skinny jeans talking about Carlito and that no one likes, Dom. And he will always see him as Rey Mysterio's punk-ass kid, which I thought was great. Dom went for a cheap shot. AJ sees that, hits him with a kick, takes down Carlito as well with a Pele kick. Mysterio got the better of him for a little bit. And then Styles gets to his feet before the 619 happened. And long story short, we're going to get a match next week, AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. He spoke to Adam Pearce. That was squared away, so that's all set in stone. Let's see, Finn Balor. There was a moment here where Seth Rollins was cutting a brief promo in the Gene Okerlund position. I believe it was with Jackie Redmond. And long story short, we're getting Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, I believe, next Monday on Raw. Winner will advance to the Elimination Chamber, either taking that number 5 or number 6 spot, depending upon. I forget who's on SmackDown this Friday. I'm sure they're going to have another Elimination Chamber qualifying match, I would assume. And so we'll see what happens with that, right? We'll see what happens. I'm led to believe it's going to be Seth Rollins defeating Finn. I love Finn as much as any of the big Finn Balor fans. I like both of these guys, Finn and Seth. 2 of my favorite 4-letter words, but Seth usually has Finn's number more times than not, and the bottom line is Seth's got unfinished business, as he told Finn, with CM Punk and many others in that match, and he's got to get to that title, which will not be Gunther, because Jey said he's going after Gunther at the top of the show after Gunther attacked him, blindsided him. So now, obviously, Seth or whomever it is going to have to go after Cody Rhodes, whether it's Seth, Punk, obviously Drew McIntyre, Cena, Logan Paul. We'll see who wins that chamber match. I'm incredibly curious, though. All right, take care. Thank you for subbing, Josh. See you around, man. You've been sub since last live. Yeah, Jaden, I remember you, man. I remember. Let me check out some of these comments here. Might be going to Monday Night Raw in Charlotte. Nice. Is that next Monday? When are they in Charlotte, Sawyer? I didn't even check where they are next week. If KO power drives someone, who do you think it'll be? Who's going to be next Raw? I don't know yet, but Sami Zayn, when he returns, he's obviously going to have some unfinished business. Finn and Seth are my faves. I can't pick. Yeah, that's right, Miss J. That's got to be a tough one for you. Good to see you always. It's got to be tough for you. But who's your favorite 4-letter word? You got to let me know, man. Why do you think WWE never brought the Bullet Club storyline to introduce more elite wrestlers to the company? Good point. Good point, Mox. Especially the fact that I know they just released Carl Anderson over the weekend, right? But as of this past spring, summer, they had 3 of the 4 original members in Finn Balor, Carl Anderson, and Tama Tonga. That would have been fun. That would have been fun. Sorry here. Let's see. You and me at WrestleMania. Jey Uso's words after Raw. Nice. We need Cena to go crazy in the ring. Super Cena, okay. Kane is his brother, actually. Where do I live? I'm on the East Coast, Sawyer. East Coast. John Cena was in... okay, Randy, then Cody. Now Sammy next, I'm guessing. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Randy, Cody, Sammy. We'll see what happens. But I like what KO's doing. I mean, I don't like, the fact that he's hitting everybody with a package pile driver and putting them out for X amount of time, right? But I like the character and demeanor of KO, because let's be honest, I do enjoy KO as a babyface at times, but the guy, just bottom line, deserves to be a heel through and through. Just like when he pretended to be a member of the New Day a few years ago, when they called him the Big O, and then he turned on the New Day eventually. It's just in KO's DNA, man, so we'll see. But anyway, we are moving forward here. This was after the commercial break. AJ Styles had then met with Adam Pearce, as I mentioned to you guys, scoring away that match with Dominic Mysterio next week. Braun Breaker rolled up on him. Feel free to put the cowboy hat emoji in the chat. This is where we saw Braun Breaker roll up in the cowboy hat. It always seems whenever they're in, the country area, whether it's Nashville or wherever, they're in, Texas somewhere, they always get, it happens on WWE, AEW a lot. Everybody's wearing a hat. So be it. Cowboy hat. So, like I said earlier, I would not be opposed to seeing like a triple threat or a fatal 4-way at Mania. Many were thinking the last couple weeks we saw Penta address Braun Breaker backstage. Braun Breaker defending his IC title against Penta, maybe also against AJ Styles, and maybe against a 4th person. Make it a fatal 4-way. Why not? I know a lot of times we see a mid-card title like the IC or US, especially at Mania, defended in like a ladder match. I wouldn't exactly incorporate a ladder match, nor would I have 5 to 7 people. I think a fatal 4-way, something like that. Penta's first WrestleMania, AJ Styles back in good health, a Braun Breaker, and a 4th person, whoever that may be. I would add another heel, right? Because Penta and AJ are seemingly baby faces. Braun's a heel. Throw another heel in there and let them go at it. And even if Braun retains, let them just have an amazing, outstanding WrestleMania match. Let's see. He should get stunned by Stone Cold. Hey, Austin already beat KO at WrestleMania 38, so we got that much. I want to see Miz. Miz was a great IC champ, regardless of what people say. Why not promote and still keep the others? What's that, Miss J? In regards to what? Promoting what exactly? Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But next up, guys, we had the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius, going up against the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, for the WWE World Tag Team Championships. Decent match, as I pretty much expected. I was going to be shocked if they took it off the War Raiders after barely a month and a half, if that. Collectively good match. War Raiders won this one by disqualification. Towards the end of this match, Julius got a title belt, hit Ivar with it in the corner. right by one of the ring posts. Post-match, Brutus blasted Eric with a title belt, and the Creed stood tall, holding those tag team titles. Now, look, I could see them eventually being the ones to dethrone the War Raiders. So, whether it's done legally or not, I mean, look, I could see them getting it done. This way, it also saves face for the War Raiders a little bit eventually. If they don't lose clean, that could save them, quote unquote, leave them open for at least a rematch, and where they would probably lose clean in the rematch. And I'm not opposed to seeing the Creeds collectively, especially because Chad Gable's the head of the stable, right? So the Creeds eventually win the tag titles, maybe at latest WrestleMania. Maybe that's where they get it done. Again, I'm not opposed to Ivy Nile being the one to eventually dethrone Lyra. Obviously not yet. Maybe on or around Mania, maybe Backlash a month after that. I think, I wouldn't want to see Lyra lose at Mania, regardless who she goes up against, but maybe Backlash, May, June territory, held the title about 4 or 5 months. Maybe at that point, your inaugural champion could drop the title. We'll see. But I want to get ahead of myself because as far as I remember, Lyra has not defended that title yet. So let's see here. I don't know why I feel bad when Brock Lesnar gets dominated by Bobby Drew. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, look, Brock Lesnar is an absolute monstrosity. Granted, he hasn't been around for a year and a half. But that said, back to your point about Drew and Bobby over the years, last few years, I mean, Brock is human, even though sometimes he doesn't seem like it. It seems like WWE is working a good exhibition without it being called. Yeah, I hear you what you're saying on that, Mox. With WWE firing wrestlers just to do call-ups, they have the money to keep them. Yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of people that also had a lot of momentum over the, whether it was recently or even in the past, Miss J, that had total momentum in NXT, like Kiana James. And although I know Kiana wasn't one of the ones that were, knock on wood, fired this past weekend, she came up the same time as Blair Davenport and all that. That when Blair was drafted to SmackDown, Kiana went to Raw. Obviously, she got injured, but long story short, Kiana had some momentum on NXT alongside Izzy Dame as kind of as her side part, and that even took Izzy Dame off TV for a while too, because Izzy had nothing to do on her own. So, yeah, I don't know why they bring people up if they don't have plans for them. They should only bring them up A, if they have initial plans for them or eventual plans, or B, if they've pretty much accomplished everything they have in NXT, like a Roxanne, pretty much like a Trick Williams. So then it's like, okay, we'll move them up, and then hopefully we have something for them, which they justifiably should. But I don't get why they bring people up and draft them and do nothing with them, like Dijak. Like, why didn't they keep Baron Corbin on NXT when he had a good early 2024 with Braun, and then, again, can him? I don't get that. Jaden, a bunch of your messages got retracted. I'm not sure what happened there. I do not. I have mods here, but what's going on here with Jaden? I saw a bunch of messages were retracted. Did I see CM Punk taunt Logan Paul? What should we call it? Yes, I did see that. Comments are being deleted. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why all Jaden's stuff got retracted there. That's weird. Awfully strong filter they got on here, huh? All right, so we're moving forward here, guys. Again, War Raiders retained their titles. It was a good match, but the reason, namely, that this match was over is because they got DQ'd because Julius hit, I believe it was Ivar with the title. So let me get back to where I was here. So CM Punk, right? I believe CM Punk made his way out shortly thereafter. Gets on the mic, says we're on the road to WrestleMania. A couple weeks ago, he'd have told you with all the confidence in the world he was going to win the Royal Rumble, and in fact that he did that, and he didn't. But he's not mad that Jey Uso got it done, and likes seeing his peers reach their goals. Jey declared for Gunther tonight, so of course, whoever it is, like I said, whichever of the 4 right now that have squared away their spot for Elimination Chamber, or the other 2 that still have to qualify, whether it's Seth or Finn, and I forget who else is on SmackDown who has to qualify as well, will be going after Cody Rhodes. So I'm incredibly curious who it is. Talks about he's skeptical of John Cena just declaring himself for the Elimination Chamber, and part of him was upset about it, but not any longer. He said, unfortunately for John, he's a legend. He called his shot, but the bad news is he had to qualify via a match. So Punk's hungry. We know that. Logan Paul makes his way out. And again, I like the back and forth with Logan Paul and CM Punk for a little bit. That was fun. Obviously, we're going to see them mix it up in the chamber now that they're both in it. And then Logan Paul, he says he sees why they call him a punk, although he could come up with better names he's not allowed to say on TV. He can't understand why he gets booed, and Punk gets cheered. Paul says he's got Punk's number at the Elimination Chamber, but this is Rey Mysterio's 15 minutes of fame to lose to Logan Paul. And again, this was the second time that Logan Paul has beaten Rey. Beat Rey November 2023 for the U.S. title, even though he cheated, like he's done in a lot of his matches at Crown Jewel. Let's see. It wasn't even that bad. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Um, let's see. I don't know why I still did it. Let's see. Would you rather travel back in time 1,000 years ago or go into the future? Interesting question, Joey. I'd probably, going to the future is probably just as scary as going back in time 1,000 years. I don't know, man. That's a great question. I might have to sleep on that. I think off the cusp. I think I'd rather go back in time for 1,000 years, because as scary as going back in time and all the things we didn't have back then, future seems even scarier. Two, I could go without seeing. Yeah, Punk and Logan Paul. I hear you, Miss J. I wouldn't want to see Punk and Cena in today's wrestling. Feel it would be a Goldberg and Undertaker match. Wow. See, I don't think it would be that bad, Mox. I get where you're coming from to a point, but I don't think it would be that bad. I really don't. I really don't. Maybe if it was like 2028, maybe like 3 years from now, I could get with you on that one. Undertaker. I wouldn't want to see Cena and Punk in 3-4 years. Maybe more so like Taker Goldberg, but nah. I don't think it would be that bad. Let's see. And a Punk figure and I recreate CM Punk's. Nice, Jaden. Thank you, Jerome. Appreciate you, man. What time is it here? It is almost 11:30 on the East Coast. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. Don't cost you a dime, I promise, or even a penny. Subscribe as well. Hit the subscribe button. I'm here every Monday and Friday, immediately following Raw and SmackDown full review. So be sure to hit that thumbs up, guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you guys all in here again. As you can see, I'm very interactive with the chat, as I've done on my TikTok lives, as Miss J could vouch for. I do the same here. Also, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, or Facebook. Follow me on all four, or whichever platform you guys use most. All at Turnbuckle, TOPIX. It's the very same handle I have here, right? So go ahead and follow me over there. You'll see the logo. It's all the same, red, white, and blue. I don't know why I thought 1,000 years was 1920. That's funny. Yeah, you're right, Miss J. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think the same initially. I'm glad I wasn't writing it. I actually believe seeing when he says it's over. I believe Cena when he says it's over. You mean after December? Absolutely, Nas. I believe Cena too. All right, Sawyer, take care, my friend. Thank you for subscribing. Hope to see you back here Friday night for after the SmackDown review. No Facebook. It's all good, Nas. I know you got me on a lot of platforms, bro. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram for starters. So appreciate all you guys. Again, namely, I'm going to be on YouTube, but subscribe here. Hit that thumbs up when you're in here. That's all I could ask. Check out the daily content. And also, again, TikTok and Instagram I use quite a bit as well. All right, so we're going to move on to the main event. Again, Rey Mysterio going up against Logan Paul. There was one lucky kid in that crowd tonight. I don't know who was luckier, the couple kids that have been in the aisleway with Jey Uso when he comes out and does the yeet on national television, or the fact that, or on Netflix these days, or the kid that got that Rey Mysterio warm-up jacket when he came out. Rey Mysterio always shows love to the kids, or whomever wears the masks like him. The Rey Mysterio masks usually goes head-to-head with them. Paying a little homage. But I believe the kid there today got like the hoodie jacket he came out with. So that was super cool, super cool. I don't like that I can't tag. I hear you on that, Miss J. Yeah, I know it's weird territory here, right? I'm on Twitter, Nas, if you're on there as well, at Turnbuckle Topics as well. What's your favorite John Cena I Quit match? Good question. I don't have an I Quit match that stands out. Not to say they haven't stood out, but there's not one in particular I revert back to. But I do like it. It looks more like Punk and Cena are there to help the younger talent. Yeah, absolutely. Again, as much as some people may want to see Cena win the Chamber and go on and win 17 at Mania, I think Cena does get the 17. I'm just not sold that it's going to happen at Mania. But in the meantime, in the interim, you better believe Cena's going to continue to put younger talent over. That's just in his nature, man. Especially even if he goes and gets his piece of the pie as far as like a title or winning a big match this year. Cena's going to put over a lot of the future. You better believe it. So whether we want to admit that or not, Cena should win the Chamber. I hear you, Jaden. At this moment in time, I'm kind of leaning towards him winning. I didn't have him winning the Rumble, but I did think that if he did not win the Rumble and he was in this precarious position, I did intend to see Cena win the Chamber on the first. So we'll see, man. We'll see. So this match gets going. Again, match started off a little sloppy, little miscommunication, with Logan Paul. More so, I would have to blame him just because Rey's a legend. Not to say Rey's perfect by any stretch, but there's a back-to-back sequence in the center of the ring where there's kind of like literally came to a standstill, like waiting for the next spot. And so it happened back-to-back. So that stood out a little bit. Outside of that, this match was collectively all right. It was an okay match. And it's funny, Logan Paul had 3 or 4 matches under his belt before he went on and wrestled Rey at Crown Jewel 2023. And to be honest, when Logan and Rey fought in 2023 for that U.S. title, that wasn't a bad match. But that was my least favorite of all the matches that Logan Paul has had in WWE. I don't know. A lot of it may have to do with the height discrepancy. I mean, Logan Paul has usually fought or wrestled people in the past that are not necessarily his height, because Logan Paul is taller than a lot of you may think, but that are closer or near his height, right? In that range, whether it's The Miz, whether it's Seth, whether it's Roman. So maybe that height differential with Ray, not everybody can get with it, especially since Logan's not full-time. In his defense, he's had, what, 10, 11 matches at most, including his tag matches over the last 3 or 4 years. So to be fair, not even counting the 2 Royal Rumbles he was in, or I don't know if he was in 2 or 3, to me that doesn't count. I'm talking singles or tags. So to be fair, Logan does his thing. He's got a great look. He's a great heel. And like him or not, got to give the guy his flowers. So this match was decent. The way this ended, Logan Paul won by pinfall with a crash landing dropped into a DDT, which I thought was very nice, very abrupt. And at that moment in time, I said, yeah, there's no way that this match is not over. Wasn't even looking at the clock, that it was almost 10:30. I was like, this match has got to be it. So, but Logan dropped him with a hard right, and I believe that's what had led to that after an attempt that I think Ray kicked out at 2 prior to that. So he punched the 4th spot, right? We have, again, John Cena, who declared immediately following the Royal Rumble in that press conference where he said, I'm not taking questions. I just got to talk for a few minutes. Spoke for 3 minutes. I thought it was very good. So Cena, we got, who else? We got CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and now, of course, we got Logan Paul. So we got Seth versus Finn next Monday on Raw to see who's going to be in that spot. Again, I'm assuming Seth Rollins, of course, for a variety of reasons. Not just because him and CM Punk have unfinished business, but, I just see him getting that title opportunity more so than a Finn. Not saying I agree with it, but that's just where I see it. And I don't know who the other match is. Who's going to be for the 5th or 6th spot, whatever, on SmackDown. I don't have that in front of me right now, but let me get to a couple of these comments. Who do you think the last 2 entrants are for the men? So yeah, I think it's going to be Seth Rollins, Miss J. And again, if you guys could put the other match up here, by all means, if it was announced for SmackDown, I'm assuming, let me know, and I'll let you know who I think is going to be in the final spot for the men. Hopefully Logan Paul loses the Elimination Chamber. Hopefully CM Punk wins the Chamber, says Sean. Okay. What would you like to have at F5 or RKO? If I was, it's a good question. Good question, Arian. And F5's cool. I mean, I'm sure neither of them are fun. I'd rather get RKO'd. To me, that's a little cooler. I mean, F5, look, you're getting hit with either a Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton finisher. Either one is cool to brag about, right? I'm going to have to take an RKO out of nowhere, too. I don't want to see this coming. Like, I don't want to be having a match with Randy Orton. I want to be cutting a promo, and then he just gets me in the middle of the ring. So, I want to get RKO'd out of nowhere opposed to an F5 any day of the week. They should have kept the U.S. title on Paul if they were going to have Knight drop the title. I hear you. I mean, it was time for Logan Paul to drop at SummerSlam. I believe that's where it was. Only because he defended it, 2, 3, maybe 4 times in all those days. Now, look, I'm not opposed to LA Knight obviously winning. It was his time. He was the hot hand. But I was just as surprised as most of you were. I like Shinsuke, but they haven't done much with him for years. And so for LA Knight to abruptly drop to Shinsuke, which they haven't done much with Shinsuke in those 2.5 months since he's had the U.S. title, he just surpassed 70+ days, whatever, that is a little confusing. So I get where you're coming from. I think LA Knight still should have been the guy who won that title off Logan Paul. That being said, I am very surprised that Logan did drop it to Shinsuke and not Carmelo or not Andrade, who are vying for that U.S. title opportunity basically all fall, having that match of that 5-match series that fell into a 7-match series as well. You know what I mean? Rye Guy, how we doing tonight? Not going to lie, the ending of Raw reminds me back in the day when they used to end before the fight is over. Yeah, right. And then, right, coming right to the end there, Miss J. New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods hopped right in the ring post-match, attacked Rey Mysterio, and they literally cut it off. We have the Netflix logo. It was about 10:28 my time. Boom, show was over. So that was it. And so, Aaron, I think it's Strowman. Oh, thank you, Aaron, for reminding me of that triple threat match that they promoted on SmackDown. We have a triple threat, like Aaron said, guys. We have Braun Strowman, Damian Priest, and Jacob Fatu. Aaron thinks Strowman's coming out of it. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Jacob, but you know what? I could see a guy like Strowman coming out of it because maybe they don't want to throw Damian Priest in the hunt. Although I could see, I don't know, man. That's a hard one for me to guess who's going to come out of that triple threat because it's almost like, it's not that you want to protect Jacob, but it's like if Jacob's in there, then you almost feel like he's got to clear house and almost win, which Jacob, in my opinion, my estimation, it would be a little too soon for him to go right up against Cody at Mania. I would love for Jacob to have a title any day, right? Jacob's amazing. But I think Jacob's first Mania going up against Cody Rhodes, that'd be awfully interesting, right? You get the bloodline on both sides. You get Jey versus Gunther, and you got Jacob versus Cody. That'd be very interesting. That said, though, yeah, I could see a Strowman or Priest winning more so than Jacob, just because, again, I just don't think they're going to put Jacob in the chamber. But man, if Jacob is the guy who's going to enter that chamber, believe you me, my eyes will be glued. I will not get up during that match to get anything to eat, drink, have to use the bathroom. I will not get up during that men's elimination chamber, especially if Jacob's in it. So I wonder if the last guy is Randy Orton. That would be fun. But again, we're going to get that triple threat match. Strowman, Priest, and Jacob Fatu this Friday for spot 5, spot 6 Monday. Seth versus Finn. Now, for the women, we got Alexa, we got Bianca, we got Liv, we got Bayley, who punched her ticket tonight. I believe we have Chelsea Green versus Naomi on Friday. And what is the 6th match we got for the women? You guys could fill me in on that as well. I'm sure they advertised that on Raw tonight, I'm assuming. So what was the last spot for the women's Elimination Chamber match? Did they promote that as well tonight? You guys could let me know in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, who was your top 5 pushes for top 5 pushes for 2025? Oh man, there's a couple things I like to see in WWE. Guys, by the way, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Appreciate you being with me tonight. But let me get back to your question here, Mox. I'll try to give you a top 3, man. 'Cause top 5, I'll be here all night. Still might be here all night with the top 3. Who would I like to see get a good push? You know, Creeds aren't the first ones that I would. This is in no specific order, but the Creeds, I would like to see them have a good tag title run. Assuming they eventually are the ones to dethrone the War Raiders, I'd like to see them do something with that stable, right? I'd like to eventually, maybe I could get all 3 of these done at once. I'd like to see Chad Gable get some singles gold in 2025. I'd like to see Ivy Nile, as long as she's on Raw, I guess, or if they go to SmackDown at any point, if they get drafted there later in the year. I'd like to see Ivy get a mid-card title, right? And, you know, I'll say this. There's part of me that kind of wishes American Made got drafted to SmackDown. It would make sense, right? It's where the U.S. titles are. They come out giving the whole Kurt Angle vibes, Team Angle. How cool would it be to see a Chad Gable with the U.S. title, and Ivy Nile with the U.S. title, and the Creeds go and win the WWE tag titles over there, you know? That would be that's a little bit of a stretch because, hey, they're not all on SmackDown. They're all on Monday Night Raw. But I'd like to see something like that. So there's a top 3 push scenario, right? All in one. The Creeds, Ivy, and Chad all getting gold at some point in 2025. And ideally, it would be the U.S. title and not the IC title, just because it would make sense from a booking standpoint. Hopefully, Solo Sikoa will face Cody Rhodes Elimination Chamber. All right, we'll see. You know, Sean, I'm more interested. If they have that happen, great. I'm more interested going forward. Like I said on Friday after that happened, on my SmackDown review, I'm very, very curious what's going to transpire in the coming weeks and months with Solo Sikoa, with Jacob Fatu. Jacob has no reason to respect Solo. Some of you may have heard me say this already. Jacob, you know, could look at Solo, say, you lost Tribal Combat a month ago. You lost your Ulafala. You lost for us at War Games. Why am I acknowledging you or respecting you or saying I love you anymore, right? I love you, Solo. I'm that guy, you know? So maybe we'll see something like that. All right, Mox. I'm glad you appreciated that answer, man. Hopefully Wyatt 6, Alexa Bliss, Jimmy Uso. Those are good ones, Miss J. Yeah. Hopefully with Alexa Bliss joining the Wyatt 6 inevitably in the coming month or so, that will help give them the momentum they need. Jimmy Uso, yeah, it's another good one. I've heard a lot of people say online they'd love to see him be U.S. champion. I mean, hey, if they're going to put it on Nakamura in 2024, 2025, why not Jimmy Uso? That's my rebuttal. Jacob Fatu is another one. Sure, I could see that happening before year's end, Miss J. Judgment Day had their promo. Who do you think they were referring to when they were talking about adding a member? Right. So I didn't mention it here, but Dominic Mysterio was talking to Finn about potentially adding another member while we saw Liv Morgan with that nasty gash in her eye she got during the opening match against Damage Control. But man, I don't know. I mean, hey, does Dominic recruit his buddy old pal Malachi or Aleister Black? I don't think so. I think he comes on and does a singles thing. That'd be cool, though. You want to talk about a darker character coming back into the fold of a group? Maybe they want to welcome him in a group setting. Personally, I'd still rather see Aleister come back in singles. But if they're going to bring Aleister Black in a group, who better than maybe keeping things intriguing and giving Judgment Day the much-needed momentum they need? So, I mean, that will also keep the group going for a little bit longer, too. We all think, rightfully so, Judgment Day is falling apart. But an Aleister Black coming to a group like the Judgment Day would be the final nail in Finn Balor's coffin. We all talk about, you know, if there's going to be a first member booted from this new version, that Finn is soon going to be on the outside, um, looking in at, just like we saw with Damian Priest and Rhea after SummerSlam. So Finn could be the next one booted, and it could be, you know, when JD returns, it could be JD, Dom, obviously Carlito if they want to keep him, Liv, Raquel, and Alistair. Again, I'm only thinking of that now, but I didn't think about any of that prior to his return. But we'll see. Let's see. Hopefully Jey Uso beat Gunther at WrestleMania. I'm thinking so, Sean. Don't look back. Sir. Don't look. Oh, nice. Interesting. Say his name and he appears. How we doing, my friend? All right, guys. So any more questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, I know. Behind me, is that The Undertaker behind me looking at me? Or is that, well, I got a whole group of characters looking behind me. Got John Cena, Mr. T. Getting beat up here by my little buddies up here. But guys, any comments on Monday Night Raw? We just finished the review collectively. Again, I thought this was, I don't want to say it was a missable show, but out of the Monday Night Raws we've gotten, what is this, number 6 or so in the Netflix era? It's not one of the better ones. It wasn't a bad show, but it certainly wasn't one of the top 3 of this year. It wasn't great, but we got some momentum going forward into Chamber. Bayley won her match, she advances. Logan won his match, he advances. We saw a fun tag team match early on. We got some back and forth with Rhea Io, who have a title match for Rhea's title the Monday after Elimination Chamber. Again, I thought that was a match we were going to get at Mania. So now, obviously, we'll see who goes up against Rhea, assuming she's going to win that match against Io March 3rd. Who's going to go up against Rhea and win that Elimination Chamber and go up against Rhea at Mania? We'll see. I think at this point, Jey has to beat him at Mania. I agree, Mox. I said at the top of the live, man. You know, if you eliminate John Cena in any Royal Rumble, not to mention he's the last elimination and it's his farewell tour, right? It's his final Rumble. I think Jey has to win at this point, right? So that's how I feel. Is there a Joe Hendry Funko yet? I don't think so. I have not seen that, but if there is, let me know. That's one I would definitely get. Definitely have to add it to the collection up there. But guys, thank you for rocking with me. I'll probably hang on another 10 minutes or so. We'll see. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, hit the like button. If you have not already, also subscribe. I'm on Mondays and Fridays. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And sorry, I'm spitting all over the camera here. And yeah, guys, again, subscribe here. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook at Turnbuckle TOPIX. All right. Appreciate you guys rocking with me for the last 45 minutes or however long we've been on. Hopefully Becky will be back. Yeah, I'm hoping to see her soon, Miss J, especially on the road to Mania. I thought Becky was definitely, it's not to say it can't happen. I thought we were going to see Becky Lynch on this WrestleMania card. Again, maybe against somebody like a Lyra Valkyria, which would be fun. They have history, you know, in recent past on NXT for that NXT Women's Championship, so that would be good. Would love to see that. Yeah, I don't know if he actually put pen to paper because I think he's supposed to be contractually obligated to AEW. A lot of us thought he was going to be done with AEW in January just because he's been off TV at least a month now. Apparently, Aleister Black's contract, or he's done with AEW later this month. Long story short, you know, if they don't throw him on the road to WrestleMania, Aleister Black, believe you me, could be one of those big names that show up the Raw after Mania. You know, I hate to wait, you know, 2 more months or so, but if that's what's going to happen, maybe they wait to have Aleister Black on the Raw after Mania if he's not on the road to WrestleMania. So we'll see. Appreciate the likes, guys. Appreciate the subscribes here. Got some notifications during this live, so thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, please do so now. Going to be heading out in a little less than 10 minutes. Any comments, questions, concerns about Monday Night Raw or anything on the road to WrestleMania, drop it in the chat. Saraya's contract ends in September. Okay. So I'm wondering, did she ever sign an extension? Or maybe that was strictly the 3-year deal she signed? Because I know she started with them in September of 2022, making her debut at AEW Grand Slam, that Dynamite episode, I believe. Dynamite or Rampage in Queens, New York. When she approached Britt Baker. God, feels like yesterday. Any idea when Ilya Dragunov is coming back? So, Aaron, that injury calls for 8 to 9 months out. He is now on month 5. Somewhere in the middle of month 5 on his recovery. So, I mean, it seems like he's been recovering on a fairly good basis. You know, I think he's going to be readily available before they, you know, he'll be available, but I feel like they're not going to showcase him like the next week or so. Dragunov's another guy who I could see, even if he is available by late March, early April, that we don't see till after Mania, early May, right? Which would honestly be the right timetable for him to return anyway. So, but I haven't seen or read any updates on Ilya other than the fact 3-4 weeks ago, like a lot of us saw him doing some stuff in the performance center. Is he running the ropes? Is he actually chain wrestling? Is he working out in any sense? I don't know, but apparently he's recovered enough where he's able to work on some stuff, which is a good sign. Said she's open to coming back. Yeah, I'm sure. Saraya's done all she could in that company. At least she had her moment at All In 2023 where she won that women's title from Hikaru Shida. The reign was very lackluster because she barely defended it. But happy she accomplished that in Wembley, nonetheless. So good for her. I'm sure she got a decent payday. Was featured on Rampage a lot the last year until they did away with the show last month, the end of December. And when her time's up with AEW, I could see her absolutely coming back because the bottom line is, unless she's planning on doing stuff backstage for them, there's not much more for her to do there, realistically. So I could see her coming back. I could see Saraya coming back in some regard. What regard in WWE? I don't know. I hear you, Sean. I'm excited for Mania too. Love Dragunov. Very unfortunate, Miss J. All right, bro. I'm just having a little fun here. I don't have good questions. It's all right, Arif. It's all right, man. All good fun here. Are they going to drop Carmelo Hayes out on SmackDown? No, I mean, he already got a notable win. Was it this past Friday or last Friday? So, no, they're slowly but surely going to build him up with victories. I know a lot of people thought that the second half of 2024 to a point, even though he had an amazing series and sequence with Andrade. I don't look at it as jobbing. I'm looking at it as a tough path. A lot of people saw all his stardom in NXT, breakout tournament winner, North American two-time champion, right? NXT champion. But, the bottom line is Carmelo's going to get to where he needs to be when it's time. They don't want to thrust him into the spotlight, especially if they don't have immediate title plans for him, right? Whether that's the U.S. title or anything else. So I'm okay with Carmelo being booked the way he has. I know if you're a Carmelo fan, you may not have been pleased with his 2024 booking collectively on SmackDown, but he'll be okay. Again, the earliest I could see Melo winning a title, maybe SummerSlam. Maybe SummerSlam, depending upon who has the U.S. title at that point. So that's my guess. If Cena doesn't win the Chamber, do you see him in Money in the Bank? Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was something I spoke with somebody about off camera a couple weeks ago that I'd never thought he was going to win the Rumble. I'm surprised he made it to the final two a little bit. I am. I did pretty much have him as my pick for the Chamber if he wasn't going to win the Rumble, which I didn't think would happen. But Money in the Bank's a fun idea too. And I'm not even going to say he's going to get it done there. Third time's a charm. But that could be a match that's set up for the opportunity, obviously, for that title contendership, for him to cash in at any moment in time, which could be cool too. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll see what happens at Chamber in a few weeks' time. Then we'll go from there and speculate all we want. The cool thing is Cena's going to have a match at Mania. The unfortunate thing is if he loses that Chamber, it won't be for a title. So we'll see. We'll see. Which from Jump Street, I never thought Cena, even when he announced back in July that he's going on this tour and all that, I didn't think Cena was going to get an opportunity for a title at Mania. He made it very well known on Raw debut on Netflix that he's coming for a number 17th championship and he plans on winning the Rumble or the Chamber or whatever. So that's what he's hungry for, but it doesn't mean he's going to get it done. So we'll see. We'll see. What wrestlers do you think might turn heel? I could see LA Knight going to a, okay. Wow, look at that. Perfect timing. Right under there. I think an LA Knight heel turn is not mandatory, but I think I could see that happening at some point this year. Reiterating recent NXT wrestlers, Stu, much better thing in NXT. Bring, most of them. But I don't add Melo to that class, though, Miss J. Like, Melo coming up to... The thing is with Melo, like, a lot of people, whether they like these certain wrestlers from NXT or not, expect their greats or their favorites from NXT, whether they won a lot of gold there or not, to come up from NXT, go on this glorious run from Jump Street, and that's not always the reality of the situation. Sometimes that happens. Even though a guy like Melo, again, very decorated in NXT, him taking a good amount of L's on the main roster and on SmackDown is not a bad thing. I mean, Melo was still drafted number 1. On Melo's first night, he fought the new WWE champion Cody Rhodes in the main event. So we got to look at the bright side. Like, there is a silver lining to a lot of these things. So Melo I can't compare to the Blair Davenports and the Kiana James and the Elektra Lopez and all these people that they brought up and or the Dijaks that they brought up and did squat with. Melo's a different case. Now, his win-loss record wasn't all that beautiful the last 6, 7 months, but it's not to say he's not going to find success in 2025, which I think he will. So I don't find that to be the case. Does Cena wins Money in the Bank and cashes in on Jey? No, I don't see that happening, Mox. You don't think Melo does? He seems so mid-cardable. You think Melo's mid-cardable? Is that what you're saying, Miss J? Lyra was great for a period of time. Yeah, well, I think the thing that's bothering Lyra is not just her booking. I like Lyra. They call her Bird Lady, all that. I think she has an epic entrance. She's a great wrestler, in my opinion, more times than not. I just think, like Gunther, Lyra falls in this category too, and I like Gunther too. You know that. I know you, Miss J, don't like him, but Lyra's a little boring. Lyra's a little boring, more so than even Gunther, for those that don't like Gunther. But I like Gunther, don't get me wrong. At least Gunther's a very funny promo a lot of the time. Very dry sense of humor, he's a heel. The thing with Lyra, she's boring, but on the mic and stuff, like her presentation. So Lyra's not just losing momentum because of how she's booked or not. She's just a little boring. But I say that in the best way possible. Isla is gone. Okay, yeah. Isla's phenomenal. But when she was brought up, a year and a half ago with Alba, they've always been a tag team together, unholy union. They even put Blair with them for like a week or two, and they did nothing with them altogether. They're great in singles as well, as we all know, but we've never seen that showcased on WWE TV. I mean, damn, Alba Fire, formerly known as Kaylee Ray on NXT UK, I could be wrong, but I think Kaylee Ray, a.k.a. Alba Fire, has had the longest reign as NXT UK Women's Champion, I believe. I forget how many days. It may have been 400 and something odd days. So, that said, Kaylee Ray can go. She could wrestle very good, Alba Fire, just like Piper Niven was phenomenal over there as well. Came over as Dewdrop. At least she got her name back. But it sucks that a lot of things from NXT, whether it's UK or here in the States in Orlando, it doesn't always translate to the main roster. It's going to work out for some, like Melo. It will work out for some. Obviously, from Jump Street, it worked out great for a guy like Braun Breaker, but that's not always the case. And I feel like more times than not, some of the men definitely suffer. I feel like a lot of the women collectively suffer. Even though Kaden and Katana had the tag titles a year ago or so for a cup of coffee before Christmas, again, another team that's floundering like Alba and Isla, right? Kaden and Katana have been up even a year prior than Alba and Isla. So, I mean, they're a duo that I could see be on the chopping block too. And I would hate that for Kaden and Katana. I think they could do their thing in singles too, especially Kaden. I had watched Kaden a lot, Lacey Lane on the Indies prior to her coming to NXT 6, 7, 8 years ago, and she's phenomenal. Let's see, Melo and Rhodes. That was a good match. Yeah, that was a good one back in April or May, for sure. Will Britt Baker DMD jump ship? She might. I mean, who knows? Whenever her contract's up, I had heard she might have a year or two left. I mean, me personally, there was a period in time I loved Britt Baker on AEW. I think she has a great aura, as they call it. She has a very cool entrance with the pyro and all that. Nice theme song. Decent wrestler. Britt Baker's a decent wrestler, formidable, but there's so much, again, there's such an influx of talent on WWE, and it's never stopping. On Raw, on SmackDown, on NXT, in the Performance Center. I have absolutely, and I've said it on TikTok Live numerous times, I have zero desire to see Britt Baker in WWE, or in NXT, any of the brands in 2025. Zero desire. It's not to say she won't be able to make it work, but the little that I've seen from her in 2024 when she returned, whether it was against Mercedes or other opponents, was absolutely terrible. So thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Good productive call-ups. I think stopped after Braun Breaker and the great champs that wrestled during that time period got called up. Yeah, Braun Breaker got called up right around the time Tiffany Stratton got called up earlier in the year. And obviously, nobody had a better year in 2024 as far as a call-up by far and in large than Tiffany Stratton and Braun Breaker. It's not even comparable. They're at the number one spot and everybody else fell to 3 and below. But I mean, hey, not everybody can be the guy or the girl, and I get that. But it's not. But at the very same time, you also cannot let a lot of people fall by the wayside. That's the bigger problem. Indy Hartwell, as she documented in a recent interview, I forget if it was with Van Vliet or somebody else. Indy Hartwell, she won the NXT Championship 2 years ago. Shortly thereafter, they called her up to Monday Night Raw, and then she got injured when she went down to NXT for a match, and that was pretty much the end of her momentum. She had to vacate the title and all this other craziness. And so yeah, it was a hot mess. Where I think Tiffany Stratton won after that on NXT. But anyway, that said, yeah, Indy's another victim of the main roster call up situation. Personal question now: favorite WCW wrestler, non WWF. Favorite WCW wrestler from Jump Street. That's never been in the WWF. I mean, a lot of the favorites of mine, that were eventually made their way there. I was a big fan of the Harlem Heat. I loved Booker T, Stevie Ray. I loved Diamond Dallas Page, and all in WCW, obviously. Big Diamond Dallas Page fan, big Sting fan. So, and I like the Red and Black. I love the NWO Wolfpack. They were fun too. Those are some of my favorites. Let's see here. Penta versus Braun for the championship of WrestleMania. Yeah, like I said, AJ Styles was confronted by Braun tonight too. So make it a triple threat. Shoot, add a fatal four-way if you want. Penta, Braun Breaker, AJ Styles, and if you want to add a fourth, that'd be great too. Adrian, how we doing? Guys, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get the 20 plus likes like we did on Friday Night SmackDown's review. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for joining me on this Monday Night Raw review. Taking a few more questions and comments. Yes, that's right, Miss J. Yep, Wolfpack was great, man. I love their theme song and all that good stuff. That was a fun time, man. That was a fun time. The Wolfpack, the Red and Black. I loved K Dog, or what do you call himself? Conan. They were fun. WWE is going to Netflix now. We have to pay much to watch. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's been on Netflix since January 6th, so they're about 5 or 6 episodes in. WCW had the best luchador matches. Yes, that they did. They were phenomenal. Not going to lie, this year's Mania looking kind of weak. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's looking weak. I mean, you got to remember, there's hella momentum and build-up, especially once Cody won the... You got to look at it like this, all right? If you go back to this past Friday, which I meant to mention on the stream, I don't think I did. Roughly, it was that very same episode. Obviously, it was a different day, but the first Friday of February last year was the controversial episode where The Rock showed up right after Cody had won the Rumble 5 or 6 nights prior. Cody had to step aside where he said, but it won't be at WrestleMania. And The Rock came out, seemingly took Cody's spot, right, to go up against Roman Reigns. That's when all hell broke loose on the internet. Dave LaGreca showed up at midnight. He had to call an emergency podcast, and his wife, Violetta, she's a sweetheart, in her pink bathrobe, and that was featured in the promo video and all that. All hell broke loose. We want Cody, or we want Rocky. Hashtags running freaking wild, brother. And so it's hard to compare the organic nature of the tumultuous mess of last year that ended up turning out beautifully, especially if you wanted to see Cody and Roman Part 2, and especially if you were a Cody Rhodes fan. If you're an American Nightmare fan, it worked out great. We got that rematch. Cody finished the damn story April 7th, 2024. The rest is history. It's hard to even say that this year's Mania is going to be anything near that. Outside of the fact, if John Cena gets a title opportunity by winning the Chamber, and if Cena gets 17 done at this Mania, then the argument could certainly be made that this Mania, that alone, could rival last year's. But you want to talk about that main event where everybody came out, where Seth came out, where The Rock came out, where Cena came out, where Taker came out at the end of that main event, and all the other matches collectively as well were overall interesting. Priest cashed in, wild couple of nights. Sammy dethroned Gunther. It's going to be very hard to top last year's Mania. And to be fair, last year was a milestone Mania. A lot went into it. The Rock was wrestling as well. So you got to be fair when you say this year's looks weak. I get where you're coming from, but you got to take all those variables into account because that wouldn't be fair. Cody Rhodes Dispute Championship. The Raw after Mania was lame last year. Yeah, to be honest with you, it was better than the, what was it, a year or 2 years ago where Vince pretty much came back and blackmailed Triple H and had a terrible terrible Raw after Mania after an amazing Mania weekend. The past few Raw after Manias have not been top tier like we've remembered them to be fair. So it's not just recently. Damian Priest, the Terror Twins, Rhea Ripley, Bash in Berlin. Yeah, that was all good stuff. Let's see. WWE does great with PLEs, but I think Royal Rumble Riyadh is not the best move in my opinion. Yeah, I hear you. I know, Miss J. Money talks, doesn't it? Money talks. And it's just a matter of time till... it's a matter of time, whether we like it or not, till Saudi gets a WrestleMania. Now, we could be talking 4, 5, 6 years from now, but maybe they wait till WrestleMania 50. Who knows? But it's inevitable that they are going to, get one. And I know they started off with a 10-year deal that started in 2018. regardless, and that's all those shows aside, right? Royal Rumble, or if they get other PLEs aside, that was for the 2-year deal, whether it was a Superstar Showdown, whether it was a Crown Jewel, whether it was King and Queen of the Ring. You know, they built that whole, like, Hall of Fame type of deal, whatever they got down there. It's not a Hall of Fame, but they got the whole, you know, you go there and they do a whole WWE tour. They opened it last year. It's like a whole gallery, whatever you want to call it, museum. They've invested a lot over there. So at minimum, they're there till 2028 in some regard for 2 shows a year at minimum. Now, I don't know if Royal Rumble next year will be a 3rd show added. I would have to be assuming that Rumble in January or February there next year. I think January. They're usually there in May for King of the Ring, and then they're usually there for the annual November Crown Jewel. So we'll see how that goes. Pretty crazy to know that a quarter of their year in PLEs could be spent in Saudi next year, and who knows what the future holds. So, again, I know it's not the most popular decision by many, but we'll see. Let's see. It's just hard to see Jey and Gunther as a main event for Mania, although it will be great another preview. Adrian, I get what you're saying. You know, the thing is, with Jey being as over as he is, whether we agree with it or not, the momentum's there. So, I mean, the place will be absolutely, you know, lit up in the best way possible. But I'd be led to believe Jey's going to get it done. We'll see. It's hard to see Gunther lose back-to-back Manias, title matches at that. But we shall see. They get 100 mil a year from Saudi. Yeah, that's crazy money, Miss J. Maybe they do that for Saturday main event and Sunday Cody, then Fatu versus whoever the IC champ is. Yeah, I believe the next Saturday night's main event is scheduled for. I know there's definitely one in May and July. I'm assuming they usually do it. I know they did December, January, so I'm assuming they're doing every other month. Maybe they're doing a March one as well, I would assume, because then they're doing May, July. So maybe they're doing a Saturday night's main event in March, maybe a few weeks after, what is it? Elimination Chamber. Saturday's Mania. Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, if they're going to main events, if Gunther and Jey are going to main event, obviously it's going to be Saturday. You know, they're not going to have Cody and whoever, regardless who it is, whether it's Cena, whether it's Punk, whomever. They're not going to not have Cody on night 2. That's just the way that's going to go. Obviously, they hold Cody in a much different regard. Saturday night main event, Rhea Ripley. All right, guys. So, be sure to hit that thumbs up. For those who have not, hit that like button, subscribe away. And again, I'm on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Turnbuckle TOPIX as well. Follow me on that platform. If it's Bianca and Rhea, Bianca should win. Rhea should not be the first woman to beat Bianca at Mania. Okay. I know. And I know a lot would beg to differ with that as well, Nas. Those are 2 valid arguments there. Bianca's been obviously amazing. 4-0 at Mania, starting at 37, defeating Sasha Banks. 38, defeating Becky Lynch. 39, defeating Asuka. And then winning with the big 3 against Damage Control last year with Jade Cargill and Naomi, going 4-0. So, I mean, hey, will it be Rhea Ripley she goes up against this year? We'll see. I know a lot of people have been waiting for Bianca versus Charlotte. Obviously, Charlotte's probably going to get Tiffany or Bianca versus Rhea, but it looks like we're going to get one of those matches maybe this year. We'll see, regardless of the outcome. Maybe triple threat for Cody, then turn Cody heel because he didn't get pinned to lose. Okay. What do you think they're going to do with Jade when she comes back? Mox, I don't even think they know what they're going to do with Jade. I think they have a suggestion box, right? I think they have a suggestion box when you go into Gorilla backstage and you put in, what do you think we should do with Jade next? I mean, we'll see who the attacker was. I mean, we're going to go up. The 22nd of this month will be 3 months since they showed Jade attacked, a few days before Thanksgiving. November 22nd episode. I wrote it down on my forehead. And who was it? Was it Bianca? Was it Naomi? Was it Lash and Jakara? Was it Nia? Was it Piper? Was it the mailman? I don't know. But they need to give us somebody, because how long are we going to drag this out? I mean, really. We're on the road to Mania. WrestleMania 41 Vegas. Last Rhea Ripley Women's Championship. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Yeet, what's up? So are you thinking Roman and Seth for Mania? Right now, I'm gonna run with that hot rumor a couple weeks ago. Again, only because I'm leaning with Cena at Chamber. Obviously, nothing's set in stone. I'm thinking we get Roman, Seth, and Punk. I'm intrigued in that triple threat. Yes, we could get Roman and Seth. I would take that any night of the week. But with Punk immersed in this, with the Paul Heyman caveat between Punk and Roman, with the disdain with Punk and Seth, with the disdain with Roman and Seth, especially what Seth did to him at the Rumble last weekend, you got to go with that triple threat. And so obviously by default, I'm assuming Seth's going to be in the Chamber after he beats Finn next week, punches final spot in that, number 6. But I don't think Seth or Punk win the Chamber, mainly because I'm going to go with Cena. And I like the fact that we could get Roman, Seth, and Punk in a triple threat at Mania. Again, with the added stipulation of Paul Heyman and what favor does he owe Punk, whatever that may be. So we'll see. Hopefully they didn't write her off. It's looking that way, Mox, but we need some answers. But it's looking that way as weeks go by, Daniel Bryan. All right. Good old DB or BD, if you watched him on AEW. It was Mae Young and Mark Henry's hand. You know what? That's what I was thinking, Doctor Who. I didn't want to let the cat out the bag, but now since you opened that can of worms, brother, I got to go with you on that. I second that. Punk cashing in that favor like it's a briefcase. Yes, exactly, Adrian. Exactly. Guys, thank you for being with me tonight, you crazy sons of guns. Hit that thumbs up, all right? Hit the thumbs up. If you just got in here, subscribe. If you're new here, welcome. I'm here Mondays and Fridays after Raw and SmackDown. I should be here this Friday. We'll see. I should be here. Special Valentine's Day edition of SmackDown, all right? Maybe y'all wear pink or red. Don't get too crazy. But maybe you'll be spending your Valentine's Day with me. As weird as that sounds. But anyway, guys, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, or Facebook. And I'm going to get out of here shortly, I think. Let's see. All right, Banks. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. I like the wrestling knowledge, my man. Just up. Thank you, Adrian. No, it's great having people like you in the chat, man. Again, that's a lot of the reasons I don't, a lot of people just write nonsense. It's good to have people in here like you guys collectively, pretty much, that actually have good insight and back and forth. So, Rhea Ripley, let's see. This is the first time here. I like and subscribe. Way cool. Thank you, Mox. Hope to see you back in the future, man. Mondays and Fridays. Again, it's when I go live after Raw and SmackDown. I got daily content on the channel as well as TikTok, Instagram, and all that other stuff. So whatever you guys want to talk about for a little bit longer, hanging on here because, quite frankly, it's been a fun chat, even though I finished the review about 20 minutes ago, but it's been fun talking to you guys. Rhea Ripley is the best. Yeah, I like Rhea. I like Rhea. Rhea's good, man. Rhea's good. And I like the fact they've been teasing her and Io. Again, and look, if we get Rhea Bianca at Mania, I ain't going to complain. But personally, the reason I had Io winning the Rumble, I was hoping to get Io and Rhea at Mania this year. And then when Io got screwed out of her Chamber opportunity last week because of Rhea's inadvertent hit to Liv, which DQ'd Io, I have enjoyed the back and forth with Rhea and Io the last 2 weeks. And okay, they're getting a match the Monday Night Raw after Chamber. I'm just a little sad that it's not going to be at Mania, seemingly. But we'll see. We'll see. Do I do PLE post stuff? At times, Adrian. Not always, but I've been doing it more so recently. So we'll see going forward if I continue that. I'm sure I'll do it for Mania weekend and stuff, but we'll see. I'm 36 and I've been watching since 1998. Do you ever miss 98 WC? Nice. I'm only a couple years older than you, Silk the Shocker. So you're a no-limit soldier. Let's see. Such a golden time. It was a great time, man. Monday Night Wars. I actually rolled up to a party the other day wearing my Nitro, my WCW Nitro hat, my Rawest War hoodie. And what better way to show up to a party than wearing the Monday Night Wars? And somebody hit me with such a great statement. That's when I knew they were a wrestling fan. I walked in, and he's like, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And that's one of those, if you know, you know. Nitro starting at 8. Raw's War starting at 9. Warzone came on at 10. It was a good time, man. It was a good time. Wiccan, I know, man. I know. Yeah, the Wiccan's keeping us young in here. Good to see you, brother. Side note, fun fact, Raquel Rodriguez from my hometown, Texas. Nice. Nice. Pretty cool. Not too many celebs from there. That's awesome, Adrian. Yeah, Raquel's great, man. I know she had her troubles last year with health concerns. I remember she initially came on as Reina Gonzalez, right? In the Mae Young Classic. Reina Gonzalez. Then she was obviously Raquel Gonzalez. Main roster, Raquel Rodriguez. But hopefully she wins something. Thanks for lighting it up, Miss J. Thanks for lighting it up. Good stuff, guys. Awesome. All right, keep hitting that thumbs up, guys. We're gonna hit at least 20. That's what I like to see. Like to hit at least 20 likes. We're getting there, man. One day at a time. What they say? Rome wasn't built in a day. We're getting there. Hit that subscribe button, guys. How do you see Alexa and Wyatt Six coming together? Yeah, I know. Since she turned on Bray, WrestleMania 37 against Randy in that debacle of a match, Wiccan, which then we didn't see Bray for a very long time. I don't know how they incorporate it, but for starters, they can. You know, the good thing is Alexa and Nikki have history, and I would not even be opposed to. You know, it's been so long since Nikki's been in the ring in a wrestling capacity. I wouldn't even be opposed to, you know, them like having like an initiation type of match, even though if they don't call it that. Nikki goes up against Alexa. Alexa wins, maybe gains the respect of the group and Nikki. And then maybe Alexa gets brought in as family. They let bygones be bygones. They put the past behind them. You know, apparently Alexa screwed up 4 years ago, but the love runs deep for Bray. And so maybe all is forgiven. And I could see something like that through Nikki. I mean, her and Nikki are what, 2-3-time tag champs? There's your in there. There's your in there. Yeah, I think her dad was a local wrestler in town. Nice. That's awesome, Adrian. Wasn't she rumored to be Damian Priest's sister when she was in Ring of Honor? Was that so? Ready to Rumble was great. Nice. I keep reading about a new leader for the Wide Six. Wow, I didn't know about that, Adrian. Interesting. There was a match back in the day on Raw's War. It was Goldust and Ultimate Warrior. Interesting. Yeah, man. You know, when Warrior came back for that last-ditch effort, that last run, when he had Mania against Triple H and stuff like that, it was a very weird time. But, you know, me being a fan of the late Golden Era, that's when I enjoyed Warrior. Obviously, now we learn about all the intricacies of wrestlers backstage and who did what and who was like what and personal, real life and stuff. But, you know, I enjoyed Warrior. I enjoyed him coming out with that burst of energy. Obviously, he wasn't the most technically sound wrestler or the most liked, but... you know, seeing him as a little kid coming out with the face paint, he's huge, he's jacked, looks just like the action figures you buy at the store for $5 at the time. It was a good time, man. Plus Hasbro figures were like $5. Now now everything's up, right? Carton of eggs are $10. Let's see here. In your opinion, who's the most influential wrestling family? Good question. You know, even though it's been a very tumultuous, sad situation. I mean, you know, Rhodes are great, Flairs are great. Von Erichs, man, I feel like they're not the only, but I mean, Von Erichs, I feel like gotta be mentioned, man. And the what ifs, right? The what ifs, because of all the unfortunate, unforeseen circumstances that happened throughout that whole family, man. They're like the Kennedys of friggin' pro wrestling, right? Kind of, sort of. Hey, I'm new to the channel. I'm a big wrestling fan. Hey, Matt, what's going on, man? Well, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you like WWE, you're in luck because Mondays and Fridays after Raw and SmackDown full review. It's almost over now, but thanks for joining the McMahons. Well, of course, I mean, the McMahons is obviously a valid response as well. Real Truth, the McMahons. Well, of course. I mean, I'm trying to think from like an actual wrestling talent standpoint, individual. But, I mean, yeah, of course, what Vince McMahon's dad did, you know, during the territory days, then obviously what Vincent Kennedy McMahon was able to do and pull everything together, even though he went up against his dad's wishes and bought out basically all the top talent from all the territories, getting them the major network TV deals. Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes without saying, but sure, that's a valid response. Wyndham and Rotundas as well. Sure. We can be a harder Von Erich or Bloodline if you can't Bloodline. Right, I mean, the Samoan dynasty runs deep. That didn't start last week, you know. Obviously, Roman credits his father, his uncle, even Rikishi and them. Thanks, Matt. Hart family, sure. Hart's a very good one. Hart is a very good one, absolutely, and a personal favorite of mine as well. Yeah, Quinn, you're not wrong, man. You're coming out with a lot of validity with your statements. See, I like people who back it up with facts. Linda McMahon, she did try, man. A for effort. That's funny. And Hawaii's, yep, for sure. That's right. I mean, hey, there's been, again, yes, who is the most influential? Everybody's got their different reasons and different responses, which is great. There's been it's cool seeing all the amounts of families that it runs deep. Second, third, fourth generation talents, man, in pro wrestling. It's actually really cool to see. Whether it's, you know, Samoan or you know, Canada with the Harts, the Von Erichs, right? Some may say, you know, the Rhodes or even Flair, but I remember Stone Cold used to mess up the McMahons back in the day. Yep, that was fun. There was you know, you could probably belt out a top 10 moments of Austin and Vince off the bat. You know, no particular order with the beer bath and you know, cementing, putting cement in his car, or was that DX? I forget. Was that Stone Cold? The hospital scene, right? The hospital scene's a classic. It's probably 37 when I found out Yokozuna was related to Rock and Roma. Yeah. So I knew that at a very young age that Yokozuna was, he was Samoan and not Japanese. That threw me for a loop initially. And then, of course, finding out with the Roman and Usos and all that, and The Rock. But how about finding out that Yokozuna's name's Rodney, huh? That's a wild one, too. I like Styles being back, but low-key would have liked him in AEW to see him up against Omega Ospreay. I get that, Adrian. I would have been at peace with either decision. So I get where you're coming from. Again, as much as you see all the WWE nostalgia behind me, I do have other companies in here, too. I have WCW and AEW and stuff like that. But I do watch AEW regularly. Again, there's some matchups I would have liked to seen with AJ over there, too, even if KO went over there, too. But again, I'm kind of happy AJ's at peace, in WWE at this point in his career, and he looks great. He looks great. Say Rotunda recently because of Bray and Bo Dallas. Okay, fair, Wiccan. Hart family has to be definitely top 3. I agree. Orton's, yeah, right. Cowboy Bob Orton. I got him on my shelf over here, Randy. Stone Cold with the cement and the Corvette. Yeah, I thought it was Austin Quinn, right. I think AJ's going to start a feud with Braun Breaker. Again, Matt, I said this earlier. I know you just hopped in. I wouldn't be, I know it's 2 months from now, but you see Penta, AJ, Braun, get one more guy. Maybe you have a triple threat or a fatal 4-way at Mania for that IC title, man. Do you want to see MJF in WWE? To a point, yes. And, eventually he will be in WWE. I do see that. I remember having Austin vs. McMahon. Nice. Can't forget the Hennig family. Sure. Right. Perfect. Michael McGillicuddy or Curtis Axel. Steiners, yeah, especially now with Braun Breaker, right? Yep. Excuse me. Appreciate the double taps. Well, like TikTok, right, Miss J? The double taps, or shall I say the like button on here? Appreciate the like button. However you hit that like button. Guys, let's see if we get at least another couple more likes in the live here. Thumbs up there. Let's see if we get a couple more subscribers before I call it a night. And appreciate you. Let's see. Love MJF, dude. Keeping it kayfabe, even a fan. Yeah, to a severe point, right, Adrian? Like, not even wanting to take pictures with fans or throwing their merchandise that they're getting signed, like, off the table. Mind you, people are paying hundreds of dollars for this. Ricky Starks. Yeah, well, Ricky Starks will be there a lot sooner than MJF. Ricky Starks is going to be available soon. Luger in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, why not? I can only tap it once. I'll leave my comment to myself. Yeah, this is true, Miss J. You can only hit that like button once. That's right. That's right. Cheers to that. Thank you for the likes tonight, guys. Thank you for the great commentary. Well, in the chat for the last hour and a half or so. And again, at latest, I'll be back Friday night for a SmackDown review, Valentine's Day edition. I was rewatching some old episodes of Being the Elite. That's just, yeah, Being the Elite was fun. I wasn't a daily watcher of Being the Elite all the time throughout the years, but one of my good friends, he tuned in on a weekly basis, and even if I didn't watch or see certain clips, he would keep me up to snuff or keep me updated on it. So it was entertaining. It was entertaining. That's good stuff. All right, guys, gonna hang with you about 3 more minutes. I know I said this earlier, but 3 more minutes. I think I'm gonna call it a night. So be sure to, again, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll be here Friday after SmackDown, and also, as well as subscribing to me on YouTube here, be sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, mainly on there as well. Also Facebook and Twitter. Same handle on all 5 platforms at Turnbuckle TOPIX. Let's see here. Wardlow staying in AEW. No, Wiccan, as soon as he is done with AEW, I don't care how much money. If he cares about his wrestling career, I don't care how much Tony Khan offers him, which I don't know why Tony Khan would offer him a lot, because he doesn't do a damn thing with Wardlow. He hasn't in years. The last significant run he had was spring of 22 when he beat MJF at Double or Nothing, when MJF was allegedly going to leave and take the flight home and stuff. Long story short, Wardlow needs to be in WWE as soon as he can. I cannot wait for the day WWE could do great things with Wardlow, and I'm a big fan of his as well. So, yes, Quinn, absolutely. It's going to be a fun ride, bro. Yeah, we're just getting started, so thank you for joining me tonight. Cody was hilarious in that as well. Marty Skull, yep. Miss J loves Marty, yep. Before I even got to your... he's the best Marty since Jannetty, right? God, he had quite a life, right? Still around, Marty Jannetty. I know he's newly married. Good for him. Still follow him. He was last seen through the barbershop window. Controversy slowly climbing back up. Yeah, we'll see. I know there's a lot going on with him, Adrian, but we'll see what happens. It's a fun time. The Villain Club, right? The Villain Club was cool. Who was it at the end of those Ring of Honor days? It was Marty. It was, what was it, Brody King and PCO? Was that the Villain Club at the end? Those guys, after they did the whole, AEW branch off? I even saw Marty's 4 episodes of a vlog he had. Even Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. is a piece of work. TMDK, right? Brody and Flip Gordon? Okay, Flip Gordon, right. Okay. Flip Gordon. I haven't seen Flip wrestle in a while, man. I mean, I used to see him, wrestle in person quite a bit, but like I haven't even seen any of his matches on anywhere really. Have you met Marty Jannetty? He's a trip. So, Wiccan, I met him in 2017. He's a former Intercontinental Champion, right? Am I mistaken? I think I might have even had him sign my title when I first got it. I honestly forget. Nas, you have a great night, bro. Thank you for stopping in as always, my friend. Much props to Flip being in the Army and doing that indie stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed when Brandy Rhodes was even, when Cody was out there doing his thing on Ring of Honor and stuff like that. I think, didn't Brandy even manage Flip Gordon for a little bit, a few years back? Speedball Mike Bayley. I don't know, Miss J. If he is signed to AEW, I hope they're not doing Speedball like they did Camille, where they signed her 4 months prior, they debut her, they do nothing with her for 3 months alongside Mercedes, and now, we're going on month 4 now that we have not seen Camille on AEW TV. Absolute absurdity. I know she got that Queen of the Ring movie coming out she's starring in, as well as Toni Storm and a few others, but, I mean, my God, what are we doing there? What are we doing here? But yeah, hopefully Speedball Mike Bayley is treated good in AEW. It's so hard to tell because with Tony Khan, it's not even like, maybe for the women he has a certain look. For the men, I don't know. I don't know if he has a certain look or demeanor about a certain male talent that TK likes. Like Vince liked bigger guys, right? I feel like TK, more times than not always, but more times than not, TK likes a lot of the smaller guys. I feel like he likes the fantasy book as though it was him wrestling, right? Let's be honest, Orange Cassidy, to a point, Jack Perry, Daniel Garcia, Hook. I mean, MJF deservedly so. And, some of the other guys deservedly so to a point. Darby Allin. He likes to push a lot of these smaller guys to the moon. So it's hard to say. Speedball Mike Bayley, again, he's of smaller stature, but he's phenomenal. But it's hard to say what they're going to do with him. They have enough titles to eventually get him in the title hunt after a few months, but I really don't know what's going to happen with him. Jannetty was fun on the Shawn Michaels A&E documentary. Yes, that he was. TK is a fan before boss. Yeah, unfortunately, Adrian, that's the case. And it really is unfortunate, for the product that suffers, and in conjunction with that, it's unfortunate for, some of the talent that work hard back there that really should be getting showcased. Some are prematurely getting showcased, and the ones that should be aren't getting any motion. Not always bad, but long-term storytelling-wise, booking pay-per-view quality matches, Dynamite. Yeah, right. There is. If you watch AEW on a regular basis, there are from time to time, right here and there are way too many top-tier matches on a random episode of Dynamite, or even a Collision. Collision's been great lately on Saturday nights, that they just randomly put on a show. I'm like, dude, you should have saved this for a pay-per-view. Like, why are you giving this away for free? I mean, I'm grateful, but it's like, dude, you should just save this, save this. Why does it have to happen right now? I think Hook is just surviving because it's Taz. Yeah, to a point, Miss J. You have a vast knowledge of all the rest of the companies. Yeah, well, I try to, again, I tell you what I watch. I let you guys know what I don't watch. I watch as much as I can. I'm always on WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I'm always watching Dynamite. Collision most of the time. TNA, I haven't been up on as much, but that's collectively my day-to-day knowledge. You know what I mean? Quick as the Shane McMahon rumors. Yeah, right? Yeah, that fell apart quite a bit. Yeah, Collision's been all right. And it's funny, this past Saturday, because I had some stuff I had to handle. I was out at some events and stuff, but this was the first Collision I didn't see the entirety of in some weeks. And I heard collectively that from start to finish, apparently, this was one of the better Collisions in recent history, or even maybe top in the last 2 years. So, Simon D. QWERTY. Is that the name? Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Can I ask your age range? Seems you've watched this as a kid. Yeah, I have. Even though I went on a brief hiatus for a few years. I am 38. So, again, I started watching in the late 80s. Took a brief break during the Ruthless Aggression era. It was still the Attitude Era when I stopped watching, but towards the later part of it. But I took a break for a while. I got back into it probably around WrestleMania 27. Here we are. It's official that Miro just got his release. Did he just now, Brooklyn Joker? Well, thank you for the 411. I appreciate you guys always updating me in the chat wherever I am here at TikTok. Appreciate that. Well, good, good, because I think his last match was against Andrade at World's End in Long Island, December of 2023. So that's crazy. When Miro's then wife, CJ Perry, was coming out with Andrade for Andrade's final match with the company, because then Andrade would return to WWE Royal Rumble 2024. So, and now Andrade's divorced. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. 26. I appreciate that, Quinn. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I swear I'm not using any crazy filters on here. I do look like this, but thank you, brother. AEW was peak with MJF as champ. Think better than Bay was damn good. It was good all the way up to Wembley in 2023. That first All In over there, going 10 more minutes at Wembley was golden. Yeah, that was good. What do you think about the recent releases? Yeah, so as I was saying, and I think Miss J might have been with me for a little bit on Saturday when I was doing an episode on the releases. I covered all of them, and then unfortunately there was another release yesterday with Elektra Lopez, which I was very upset to see, because talk about somebody who was underutilized. You know, some talent you see underutilized either on NXT or on the main roster, as we spoke about, or vice versa. Elektra Lopez was somebody who has been underutilized on NXT and SmackDown all those years. I've been following her career for years. Her name's Carissa Rivera. Maybe she goes back to that. She's from Jersey, like myself. And I hope the best for her. You know, I spoke on all the others the other day, Isla and all them, and all that stuff, and Sonya and AOP. But it's unfortunate for everybody. Hopefully Cedric, goes to the Hurt Syndicate, one of the brighter spots on AEW these days. It's been a lot of fun the last 3 months with them. It stinks, but, they weren't doing a lot with a lot of them anyway on WWE. And although it's tough to see that happen, you don't want to see anybody lose their job, whether they've been there 2 years, 10 years. Hopefully this opens up new opportunities. It's worked out for a lot of other wrestlers, right? When they did get let go at some point in time, whether it was in 2020 or present day, a good majority of them are now thriving on the indies, in AEW, some of them, in TNA. Nick Nemeth having a reemergence in his early 40s. So, but it is sad to see. Portland Wrestling was my star wrestling. Okay, does Alba Fire go solo? Wiccan, if it was up to me, I would at least give Alba a chance in singles. Again, longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion is Kaylee Ray. How do you not give her a shot in the mid card? And that's how these women that maybe in their eyes they never saw. Not my words necessarily. I'm just hypothetically saying maybe they never saw maybe Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, Blair Davenport, even Sonya. Maybe they never saw any of them getting to Elektra Lopez, getting to the Women's World Championship at any point, or WWE Women's Championship. But especially because you got tag team titles, you got now an IC title and a US title on both brands. How do you not factor a lot of these women into the mid-card scenario? They've done nothing with Lyra the past month. Chelsea, look, as much as I like Chelsea and Mishin going at it, that's been her only feud for the last month plus. Utilize these other women, whether they've been in singles or tag or a valet, pretty much, like Elektra. And how do you not have them having these mid-card matches, gaining some wins on their road to getting a US or IC title shot? Doesn't mean they have to go up against Lyra or Chelsea tomorrow, but let them get some wins against, somebody's got to lose, right? Let them get a win against Isla or B-Fab or Katana Chance or Caden gets some wins. What are we doing? So I hope Alba Fire eventually gets the opportunity to showcase herself in the mid-card, because I think it's ridiculous. I really do. I really do. You got 2.5, 3 hour shows. How do you not get these women some opportunities? In the weeks that Chelsea and Lyra aren't showcased, again, you could have women fighting or vying to be a number one contender for that title. But let's go. If you're going to have more titles, you need to have more competitors vying for said title. We don't just need to see the same feud for 5 or 6 weeks like Chelsea and Mishin going back and forth. It's getting crazy. So I actually liked watching Sonya. I liked Sonya too. I liked Sonya Deville too. I don't know if Elektra hurt me the most out of all those releases, and I liked Isla Dawn too. Initially, I think out of all the women getting released, I was most shocked with Sonya, because even though that group, PFC, is not really a big deal, I was shocked because Sonya was basically the official or unofficial lead for PFC, right? But I was very shocked to hear about Elektra Lopez too. Again, I think every good faction needs a leading lady, and so they decimated the Final Testament. So Scarlett's just with her husband carrying cross, obviously. And I liked Elektra coming out with Los Garza, Humberto, and Angel, but now it's just them. So I don't know, man. It's really weird. Let's see. Just overall loving how wrestling is okay to be cool again. Correct. You know, and that's with me. I loved it when it was cool or uncool. I don't care. You know, I've always said, hey, man, you know, people look at us. Some people come in the chat once in a while and they say, oh, you know, grow up. Not just to me, but others, wrestling fans at this age. So what? So what? Same people that probably, you know, and I'm not knocking cartoons, but they probably go back and watch I don't know, an episode of Doug. Like, bro, who are you judging? So let's see. Special Triple H charge looks like he doesn't listen to fans. Keep questionable people, but letting go of potential greats. Yeah, I mean, look, some people deserve. I don't want to use the word deserve. Some people I could see why they get chopped, and I'm not even talking about the most recent releases. Some people just you need to trim the fat every once in a while, and I get that. But yes, some people they questionably keep, and others that did have potential. Apparently, they didn't see that, and so that they trim them. So some of it's very questionable. I was mad they got rid of the guy from Chase U, Duke Hudson. Yeah, Duke Hudson was the first name to come out early last week before these releases happened this weekend. He was quietly let go in January. So Duke Hudson's very good in the ring. Great personality. He cut that great video once it came out that he was released online about what's next for him, and the fact he did that on his own accord on the independent scene eventually it's gonna. I think main roster if you get released it's 90 days, and for NXT I think it's 30 days, something like that. So hopefully he has less than a month, right? AOP got released. Yep, that's right. Never grow up. That's it. I'm like AOP. They just never factored them in storylines. Yeah, AOP, again, the only notable thing they did with them is like put them in this faction where everybody needed a boost, right? Karrion Kross needed the boost. They brought Paul Ellering back with them like they did in NXT in the early days on Raw in 2017, 2018, where they would eventually get rid of Paul Ellering, where they replaced him with Drake Maverick, right? But who knows? Who knows, man? But I had the same reaction like, damn, twice, but they'll do good in another promotion. Yeah, well, the thing with AOP, you know, I don't necessarily know if they're going to go on the wrestle. You know, they both do a lot of outside endeavors as far as like businesses and stuff. I forget exactly what, but I remember the first time they got released and I saw them on an interview. They said they got all this other stuff going on. So I could honestly see AOP going back to whatever they were doing in life. You know, when WWE calls you up, you take that call, right? But I could see AOP, out of all the people that were released, out of all the men and women, I could see AOP and Paul Ellering being the ones sitting at home. Maybe Ellering more so sitting at home. But I could definitely see, AOP going back to their day-to-day careers or jobs or gigs. You know what I mean? Just got a notification. Thank you guys for all the subs during this show. Appreciate that. Got at least 15 of you guys and girls. Thank you. If you guys haven't already, guys, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you being here with me the last hour and a half. It's been a lot of fun talking everything wrestling. In your opinion, who will win, Nikki Bella or Becky Lynch? Wow, you're taking me back to the early days of the brand split of SmackDown Live in 2016. Remember when Nikki Bella showed up and came after Carmella? That was fun. Anyway, that's when she came back, from the neck surgery. She had to do the new finisher. Got to go with Becky Lynch. Love Nikki Bella. Got to go with Becky. I like your passion for WWE and other promotions. Your opinions and thoughts are deep. Thank you, Miss J. Look, if me and you, Miss J, were in person having a conversation, or anybody else in here, the thing I want you guys to feel, as you guys make me feel, as if we're having a conversation in person. And so, like, I just like to interject my honest thoughts with you guys, and I appreciate you. You know, you guys rock with me. Whether you guys have been rocking with me since the summer, like Miss J, and a few others, or if you met me tonight, man. Hope to see you guys back. Cedric is going to AEW, join Lashley. Yeah, Brooklyn, you know, I would love to see him with the Hurt Syndicate, man. That is one thing right now, and yeah, I get it. It started in WWE. They didn't follow through with the Hurt business, but the Hurt Syndicate so far on AEW has been one of the better things they've had on TV consistently. So, and you know what? You know why the Hurt Syndicate's going to thrive? Because when you leave things up to Tony Khan, sometimes, more than sometimes, they fall apart. MVP is not going to allow the Hurt Syndicate to fall off track, whatever that may mean. If he has to go into every goddamn creative meeting with Tony Khan and be up as you know what, like a hemorrhoid, he will be there and say, no, TK, this is what we're... So, like, it's good that MVP is there because he's going to be the constant advocate, quite literally, like Paul Heyman was the advocate. MVP is going to be the advocate for the Hurt Syndicate to make sure they're not going to fail, man. Grow up. Wrestling is a combo of action, comedy, romance. I hear you, Quinn, right? I hear you, man. That's why when people say grow up, it's like, what are you talking about? AW, hopefully they start to book Jay White stronger. Yeah, Jay White's one of my favorite wrestlers. You know, I've seen him a few times live in AEW, but the one time I really clung on to liking him was the night before WrestleMania 35. I was at the New Japan Ring of Honor Supercard in Madison Square Garden, And I think he might have been was it the Intercontinental or whatever title he held at the time? I was like, this guy's amazing. Let's see here. Right on. Appreciate you, Adrian. Yeah, hopefully one day we all link up, man. Have a good talk. We'll have a good conference call, pro wrestling conference call. Let's see, Adrian, you follow TikTok, Billy. Hey, back again. What's up, Billy? He Andre the Giant. You're 12 or 13. Okay, all right. By the way, I had the same junkyard dog. Well, that's Mr. T up there, but it looks the pants looks like maybe the junkyard dog. Or I don't think I have a junkyard dog on display over here. I think I have the Mr. T up there. That's one of my newer ones. Thing about AEW is just that there is so much talent. I forgot who I think Tommy Dreamer was one that said they need to treat Omega and Ospreay like Hogan. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's true. It's true. Dynamite Kid was the best I ever seen. Nice. Dynamite Kid. How about that? Now, is it his nephew or son? I think it's his nephew, right? Tommy Billington. I believe it's Tommy Billington that they have wrestle once in a while on AEW Ring of Honor. I believe he was on the pre-show at Wembley this year for, obviously, AEW All In. And he's pretty good. I believe that's his name. So, yes, little passion fruit, Miss J. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Let's see. All right, guys. So it's the third time's a charm. I think I mean it this time. It's like my 2-minute warning. I'm about to head out of here. All right. It's been a great, almost hour, 45 minutes. Thank you guys for being here with me tonight. Again, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. All right. I know many of you have. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And again, you can follow me, subscribe to me here. You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Turnbuckle, TOPIX. Hogan was the most athletic performer I've ever watched the ring. This is the longest you've been here, I think. Yeah, this is definitely close to it, Miss J. Close to it. Yeah, this might be. I think I've done an hour and a half, but this definitely has exceeded that. So I think this might be my longest live on YouTube. Ever seen Stampede Wrestling? Yes. Yes, absolutely, I have. I absolutely have. I figured, Quid. I figured. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed spending my night with you guys. Hope you enjoyed this Monday Night Raw post-show review. And again, I'll be back live here Friday night, immediately following Friday Night SmackDown. Everybody have a great night. Again, subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all that other good stuff. Hit that like button, and I'll see you guys Friday. Have a great night, and you guys take care, all right? See you after SmackDown. Good night, guys.